All right, so we got every Loyalist chapter that was completely annihilated. Scripted videos, go man.
Hey guys and gal, Games Workshop really doesn't like permanently killing off characters or sub-factions.
True.
And while I understand why, after all it's bad for business if thousands of customers have bought Eldar and painted them in the colours of Krafeld or Yandin, only for the Krafeld to fall to the tune.
Like, I'm like, bro, imagine like permanently killing off like Vulcan. Like, bro, that would be like, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, Games Workshop, bro, they're going bankrupt immediately, bro. I'm not even joking, I promise you.
And their armies will technically becoming unlore friendly or outdated. Or if Marnius was to be killed by Abaddon only a few years after getting a new model, obviously that's not super fun for people that bought that. However,
True.
this fear of killing stuff definitely hurts the stakes of the setting. Guilliman, the Lion, Abaddon, the Silent King, Shadow Sun, and Gazkal will not die anytime soon, and if they do die, they'll be immediately revived, which is quite literally what happened to G-Man and Gaz.
Duh.
The only characters that do die are often the ones that have infinite respawn hacks. But there are times when they finally stop being a bunch of pussies and allow an Astartes chapter to go kaput, and that is worth talking about. Before we get started, this is your last chance to pick up some sick merch from the 2024 Majorkill Christmas
Oh,
merch.
nice.
After this, we're taking the merch.
By the way,
down,
make
and
sure you guys
leftovers
like the
go
video,
on
subscribe to the
this
channel. You guys
some
are
of the
new.
chapters I'll talk
Thank you
about
guys so
today.
much for
You
stopping
guys
by.
have
You know,
absolutely
liking
frothed
up
the
all the
bottom
videos
of
and
the
watching all the
singlet.
videos. I
We
really
literally have,
appreciate
like,
it. Make
5
sure you guys
of these left. With
follow
the
my Twitch at
heavyweight
twitch.tv/KingYeti
winter
with 2 Y's.
grunge hoodie
It's
also
also at the
been
bottom
my
of the screen. Just
favourite,
as
alongside
can't
the
read it,
epic
whatever.
gay fuckhead
What?
sweatpants. You guys have given me a lot of
Shirtless,
faith in
bro.
the popularity
Shirtless
of
is
those.
crazy, but I'm
Now,
gonna be
I
honest
like
with
being
you.
transparent,
He
and I
has a
like
nice
giving
fit
people a
body.
chance,
No homo.
and you Xeno
Listen.
fans have let me down.
Listen,
The
man,
Get
I'm
Good
straight as a
War
pencil.
t-shirt
I
and
gotta
the
say it.
Surrender and Die t-shirt have sold like shit. Xeno fans, how do you expect people to respect you if you don't respect yourself? Those Khorne fans
True.
are gonna be repping the shit out of that singlet, flexing on you as you feebly get tabled time and time again, because you aren't proud enough of your Necrons or Orcs to stare them down with your own epic merch. I tried my best, no more fucking Xeno merch, well maybe some Eldar, but I feel like that won't be so hot either. Vulcan fans, you've done okay. Hammer singlet has sold somewhat okay, but fuck me for trying to give the Shattered Legion some love. But yeah, sick.
Oh no. Listen, we don't give no love to nobody else besides the Salamander. So like, listen, if you could drop nothing but Salamander merch, that'll be absolutely splendid.
Inspired hoodie, G'day Fuckhead sweatpants, and Blood God singlets selling out. The rest probably not, unless you Xeno fans show up. If you get the entire bundle, it's 20% off, which
Oh,
is
nice.
also the same discount you get for buying some of the older Legacy merch that also didn't sell as well. We live and we learn. Today we'll go over every single Loyalist Space Marine chapter that has been completely wiped out. Even if they were brought back via the Primaris, I would still consider them destroyed. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's go, man.
Now, as explained above, GW don't like wiping out chapters often, as people who painted their chapters like that are suddenly left with a technically out-of-date chapter. Although I don't think those players actually mind, since they can make up their own headcanon about how these Marines and their army were the last survivors, as they were on a strike cruiser doing a mission when the rest of their chapter was destroyed. So yeah, GW should kill chapters more often. I want to actually start with a pretty hot one. Did you know that during the War of the Beast, the entire Imperial Fist chapter was wiped out and slaughtered, having to be rebuilt from scratch using donated Marines and gene seed from Imperial Fist successors? This means that there are no more genuine 100% authentic Imperial Fists anymore. Now obviously the genetic diversity between the Imperial Fist successors is so minor/non-existent that the current modern day Imperial Fists are indeed genetic Imperial Fists, however in terms of on-paper lineage, not so. Obviously GW was never going to go all out and terminate a first founding Loyalist chapter permanently, but by technicality, the Imperial Fists were annihilated. Another famous and pretty epic Loyalist chapter that was destroyed were the Astral Knights, an Imperial Fist successor, RIP Imperial Fists. The Necrons had recently awoken and deployed a world engine, a planet-sized super Death Star that was fucking shit up.
Oh wow.
Death Star worlds in a single blast. The Imperium was like, oh shit, and sent nearly 15,000 Space Marines and a shitload of guardsmen to try take it down. Nothing was working. Its shields blocked all torpedoes and drop pods. In return, it was ravaging the Imperial fleet. Chapter Master Thade of the Astral Knights was like, fuck this shit, so he rammed his battle barge into the world engine, the ship having enough girth to break through the shields. As their ship was crashing and exploding, the entire chapter that survived the collision began drop podding onto the surface.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me just say that, just to say it. The Necrons, bro. I'm gonna be completely real with you, bro. They deserve, bro, like a round of applause. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you, like learning like more about the Necrons and like how, I guess how low staffed they are about, cause obviously like a lot of their I guess like they're really advanced whenever it comes to technology and stuff like that. But at the same time, like they can't really. Wait, I know they have like one of like the smallest like factions or groups or whatever, but like the fact that they're able to like go into like these wars and stuff like that, and still, I mean, obviously some people are gonna die, whatever, but the fact they're able to like to still like have people, bro, I can't lie to you, that's really impressive. So I just have to like, you know, just chip that in before like we continue.
Now, the Necrons were not prepared for this level of weaponized autism, as Space Marines are known to decimate Necrons in melee. So nearly 800 Astral Knights, a chapter that was famed for their melee battle prowess,
never mind.
tore into thousands of Necrons, destroying every generator, weapons platform, and obelisk they could find.
Okay, I take that back. Okay, let's just, you know, let's just back taking. You know, I just had to
After
rewind real
100
quick.
hours, only 5 astronauts remained who had fought their way deep into the world engine. They were wounded, out of ammo, and surrounded. So they died gloriously by detonating melter charges in the core of the world engine, disabling most of its weapons and shields at the cost of their own lives. This allowed the Imperial fleet to bomb the fucking shit out of the world engine with everything they had, obliterating it. Every single Astral Knight had fallen, with their sacrifice being so epic that a monument was made to honor them. Every fallen knight was made into a statue on a nearby world, with that world being the final victim of the world engine, with 2 Blood Angels keeping an eternal vigilance over the monument. The chapter legacy would live on, as their fortress monastery, the handful of surviving Marines not present on the world engine, and Gene Seed would be handed over to the newly founded Sable Swords. Another infamous Imperial Fist chapter that was completely wiped out, man, the Sons of Dorn can't catch a break, were the Soul Drinkers. Now, the Soul Drinkers have some pretty strange lore.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, these are the soldiers right here. Even though their name is absolutely like just freakish, just horrendous. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Their armor color, like their color wave of their armor, is absolutely fuego. I just have to say that, bro. They look like a Taki bag or something like that.
They were a second founding chapter, meaning they were OGs, with as much history as the Black Templars, Flesh Tearers, and so on. So imagine their surprise to find out that when their gene seed was scanned, it came up as non-Imperial Fist. Now, there is a lot of fuckery that happened with the Soul Drinkers, which I covered in their own video, but long story short, Chaos wanted these boys and they wanted them bad. The chapter began to suffer mutations, had a coup, and ended up being declared renegade. They were eventually brought before the Imperial Fist to stand trial, which by this point there wasn't many of them left. During the trial, one of the bad Soul Drinkers activated a warp gate and a demonic tide flooded in. However, the noble yet renegade chapter master rejected Chaos, and he led his surviving Soul Drinkers in aid of the Imperial Fist. By the end of the battle, only 3 Soul Drinkers remained. They decided that to atone for their sins, they would brave the warp, so all 3 of them walked into the warp gate before it shut, likely resulting in their instant horrific deaths. The Imperial Fist declared the Soul Drinkers loyal and inscribed their names on the phalanx as fallen heroes, despite them not actually even being Imperial Fist successors.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, I mean, I rate what they did. It's really respectable. I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. Forget that. Listen, if there was like 4 of us, right? If it was me and like these 3 right here, and they're about to walk into the warp, like, oh, let's go out with the bang. Let's do our final loyal act. I'm gonna be honest with you. As they walk into the warp, bro, I'm turning right around, bro. I just gotta be completely honest with you, bro. I'm not going in with them. Maybe that's just me.
The theory is that over thousands of years, the agents of Chaos replaced or twisted the gene seed to make the chapter more corruptible, as Imperial Fist gene seed is famously resistant to Chaos. They have been refounded as a Primaris chapter by Guilliman himself. However, this new chapter is more of a tribute to the Soul Drinkers rather than the chapter themselves. This next one is a bit controversial, but I'll still count it. The destruction of the Astral Claws. Man, Astral chapters really don't have much luck these days. The Astral Claws were a mighty chapter and were Wardens of the Maelstrom, a less fucked up version of the Eye of Terror. They had been containing the threats within it, however their chapter master, Luft Huron, realized that with enough force, the Maelstrom could be completely purged. However, the Imperium would not send the manpower required. Frustrated, the Astral Claws took matters into their own hands, massively expanding their chapter size beyond Codex compliance and refusing to pay their tithes to the Imperium to keep the resources for themselves.
They didn't pay the taxes. You didn't pay Uncle Sam. Dang, man. Uncle Sam did not get his check. You're supposed listen. Whenever you pay Uncle Sam, you're supposed to deliver that check by this deadline, or there will be add-ons and fees, and there will be there'll be just a total cutoff. They did not pay the taxes. Tough.
This eventually led to a vicious conflict called the Bad Dab War, where the Astral Claws, Lamenters, and Mantis Warriors rebelled and then had their shit kicked in by the Imperium. The Lamenters and Mantis Warriors were allowed to atone for their sins and rejoin the Imperium. The Astral Claws, however, were smashed, and the survivors fled into the Maelstrom to become the Red Corsairs, with the Astral Claw chapter being officially declared destroyed. Probably the best example of the Imperium's frustrating bureaucracy. If they had used the forces of the Bad Dab War, combined with the Astral Claws, the Lamenters, and Mantis Warriors, they easily could have purged the Maelstrom and weakened Chaos dramatically in that region. Instead, they lost a ton of Marines, as well as turned a mighty Loyalist chapter to the enemy, with the Red Corsairs now being considered one of the most powerful Chaos warbands in the galaxy. Good work, Imperium, you fucking retard. As a side note, although they have no lore, the Astral Drakes is another chapter that was annihilated. taken out by Gazkal Thrucker. Just thought I'd mention another clapped Astral chapter. This next one is pretty funny. Due to a clerical error by the Administratum, 2 chapters founded at the same time were given the same name by accident, the Celestial Swords. To add a cherry on top, both chapters would be completely wiped out by Abaddon during his 9th Black Crusade, so at least that solved any potential trademark disputes that would have arisen. Although I said the Imperial...
Wait, so they were both given the same name? Wait, is that like a Games Workshop problem, or did they actually mean to do that? Huh? Did they just forget that they named like this one group like the same name that they're about to name like the new group? Like, did I just hear that correctly?
Copying it pretty hard. The successes of the Blood Angels have been fucked even harder due to the devastation of Baal. During that one epic
The Red
Angels,
Rangels.
Blood Angels lost the Angel Excelsius, the Angels Glorious, Bloodwings, Brothers of Gerard, Burning Blood, and most infamous at all, the Knights of Blood, who were so heretical that they were basically considered renegades. However, they redeemed their souls in honor by gloriously sacrificing themselves. In a similar vein, a shitload of Loyalist chapters were annihilated during the Abyssal Crusade, when some dipshit idiot had the bright idea of sending thousands of Loyalist Marines into the Eye of Terror to try conquer it. It ended horribly, with all chapters either getting destroyed or corrupted by chaos. The Blades Eternal, Chorus of Eltane, Fists of Ulchus, and Prophets of Mercury were just some of the chapters that were lost. Not to be outdone, sometimes the Imperium actively tries to destroy Loyalist chapters for speaking out about the Imperium's bullshit. For example, the Angels of Retribution, who were ambushed and completely wiped out, the details of which are sketchy. However, it seems like the Inquisition set them up to be ambushed and then sent some of their own agents to ensure none would survive. However, the even more fucked up example was the Celestial Lions, a noble chapter who tried to speak out about the Inquisition's horrific use of world-ending weapons on Imperial citizens.
I think we got our first, well, me personally, I think we got our first Warhammer whistleblower. He's about to get wiped out.
Every attempt to speak out was met with violence, with the Celestial Lions getting a target put on their back. During the Third War for Armageddon, the Inquisition actively sabotaged them, eventually leading them into an ambush in which nearly the entire chapter was killed by orcs, with even some Vindicare assassins sniping the lines during the battle, specifically targeting apothecaries so that no gene seed could be collected. The few surviving Celestial Lions would get off-world and attempt to rebuild their chapter, only for more assassins to attack them and kill their new chapter master. At a similar time, their homeworld was attacked by chaos and fell, so yeah, even though they haven't yet been declared officially destroyed and there are a few dozen left, there doesn't seem to be any coming back from that, which sucks since their aesthetic, colour scheme, and chapter culture was dope. There are many other chapters that have been taken out, but most of them were created by the writer to literally just get instantly wiped out as a side note to make another faction look stronger, so not worth bloating the video with names that don't matter. The last couple that do...
I noticed say my salamanders right here. This must be like another, like, you know, green squad or something. Like, this cannot be like my salamanders, right? Like, there's no way, like, because, like, you know, that's our color wave and stuff. Like, you know, we got the diamonds on our wrist and like the diamonds like on our neck and stuff like that, right? I know this is not like, yeah, hey, is this the salamanders? Yo, you watching? Confirm this. Is this the salamanders? Because if it is, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yo, there will be hell to pay. I'm just gonna be completely real.
Wolf Brothers, the only Space Wolf successor chapter ever made, who had to be culled as their mutations were too fucked up, as well as the Firehawks, who were all lost in the warp and have seemingly been reborn as the Legion of the Damned, but that lore is a bit wacky. Regardless though, we can comfortably say the Firehawks as a chapter do not exist. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel,
shout out to Majorkill, man, for this video. I'm glad he didn't mention the salamanders because obviously, like, you know, the salamanders are legit the absolute best. I know I keep saying it. I know I keep glazing, and I'm a forever glaze, and I'm a forever keep saying it. But yeah, you know, I'm so glad that he didn't mention the salamanders because, you know, we were down bad one time, but you know, obviously, you know, we bounce back and stuff like that, man. But comment down below what do you think about this. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I'm gonna see you guys every time out. And oh, I have a Twitch.tv/KingIndy with 2 Ys. And peace out.